The number of infectious explosive diarrhea cases in the United States caused by cyclosporiasis continues to rise. It is now about 1,400, up from about 1,000 yesterday. Two most impacted states are Michigan, where there's over 1,200 cases, and then New York, where there's almost 400 cases, and probably more because this data is from yesterday. All of the information that we're getting on state numbers are from the states themselves because the CDC's data has not been updated since June 16th. I'm Dr. Rabia De La Torre. I'm a board-certified gastroenterologist, and I was actually a parasitology TA when I was in college at Cornell. It causes explosive diarrhea, cramping, nausea, and vomiting. This can last weeks, and it can be waxing and waning in terms of severity and symptoms. The good news is it is extremely treatable with a medication called Bactrim, which you cannot take if you have a sulfa allergy. This parasite is typically spread through fresh produce in hot weather. Romaine lettuce, basil, cilantro, snow peas, raspberries. These are kind of the more common sources of cyclosporiasis. The most concerning thing to me is that we don't know the actual source, so I can't tell patients or even my own family what exactly to avoid. I've seen a lot of conjecture online. Unfortunately, people are having to kind of pool resources and information to figure out what the source might be as they think back what they might have eaten, where they might have eaten, what restaurant, whether or not it was a certain brand of bag lettuce. I've seen all these things online, but we don't actually know what the source is, which is one of the most problematic issues right now because, again, I don't know what to avoid. I don't know what to tell my patients or my friends what to avoid. One of the problems with trying to track and trace this specific parasitic infection is you don't necessarily develop symptoms right after eating something that's been contaminated. You can develop symptoms anywhere from 2 to 14 days after you've eaten these foods. I don't know what I ate 2 weeks ago. I have no idea what I ate 2 weeks ago. Do you remember what you ate 2 weeks ago? I don't even remember what I wore yesterday, let alone what I ate 2 weeks ago. One piece of good news in all of this is that it is not spread person to person. So if you know somebody who's had cyclosporiasis, you don't need to be afraid to go near them or afraid to go to their home. They probably won't want to hang out with you in the midst of symptoms. Going to eat any sort of fruits and vegetables that are raw, peel them. And if you can't peel them and you are going to eat them and you plan to wash them, rinse them very aggressively. While it's not a reliable way to get rid of this parasite, it can certainly help. And there's been some studies looking at mixing water and vinegar, but nevertheless, it's not a foolproof way. You can still contract cyclosporiasis despite washing your fruits and vegetables. The best thing you can do if you plan to eat fruits and vegetables is to cook them. So if you cook them thoroughly and they reach a high enough temperature, you can kill the Cyclospora parasite. Symptoms can last quite a long time. They can wax and wane. People can have symptoms for up to weeks. And even if they recover from the acute infection, they can develop something called post-infectious IBS, which can cause kind of abnormal bowel movements as your microbiome is kind of getting acclimated to this insult to it and trying to figure out how to get back to normal. For those of you who have these symptoms, especially since this is going around in the news cycle, it's important that you go and get tested. Ask your doctor to have your stool tested for ova and parasites.